Okay, people, we're back to working on the port sidewall and bunkhouse section. It's actually supported. If I remember in this video, I will walk over. You'll see how I've just got it rudimentarily set up to where it's somewhat square for the 2x6 that will be going over here. And just to recollect, but before we do that, any new viewers to the channel, welcome. Um, my videos are about real life and what goes on at the ranch right now. Everything is done in real time, nothing's edited, blah, blah, blah. Continuing on, here we're going to go back to the starboard section, which is almost complete. You see this 2x6? This is going to be duplicated over to the bunkhouse, and it will tie in to the 2x4 and the new sidewall, which will be a full sheet of 3/4 plywood, which I've already done my measurements with a 3-foot overhang over in the bunkhouse. It's going to go just a little bit, couple inches over to the window opening. And I should have my measurements right as far as the new window. So I would have liked to stuck more 2x4s as far as lateral support, but this is going to be cubby cabinet, shall we say. These wonky uh, electrical wires, 110 side by side with 12-volt direct current is a no-no. This is going to be yanked out. I will probably leave this rebar in, one for an overhead light, maybe two up there. I think that was a 12-volt light because that looks like the green and white that was over there. So we'll see how it goes. But structurally, we need to basically duplicate all that. Last time I was at the Home Improvement Center, see the 2x10. I could not find any 2x12s that were not wonky. So that's the reason for a 2x10. And I was at the Home Improvement Center, a few days ago. All they had was perfect 2x10s. All the 2x4 12s were just wonky and no go. If you construct with wonky wood, you're going to get wonky results. And if you've never worked with wood, just basic dimensional lumber, we're not talking cabinet quality here as far as precision fit, but if you've got wonky wood, you're not going to get the desired result of just trying to make a simple square box. And that's what we're doing. We're making rectangular boxes in a sense. So we'll just have to do with a 2x4x10, which this is going to be replaced. That was temporary to keep the roof from collapsing on itself, which is helping out with the bunkhouse. But there is a support underneath the board plywood. I will be keeping this. We will be keeping this because it's in fairly good condition. It is rotted over here on the ends. So we're going to take the circular saw and the jigsaw, and we're going to cut about an inch off of it. And we're going to use some of this donor stuff, which we've already pulled off of other sections of the pickup camper that are in good condition, and we're going to reuse it, and we're going to use it to fill in the gap here as far as the missing wood. And then what we do is if you can see my finger through the hole, there's actually a 1x3 under here as a repurposed one, and then we've got another 2x4 on top to give it more support than it ever had. And that's what we're going to be doing. So yeah, and as far as the window opening, the plywood's going to come all the way up here without a hole because I'm a little skeptical of the replacement windows going. So it's just going to be a full sheet of plywood from here 3 feet. The reason for the overhang is the bunkhouse will be tied in structurally to the sidewall. If you want to know how wonky these things are actually built now and then, look, you got a main structural support hanging off the end. There is no overlap into the actual wall. The only one up there is there, but that's a little too much too late, shall we say. So what we're doing is actually much better and stronger construction, shall we say. It'll be tied in. I was not able to find any of these at the Home Improvement Center, these 1x3s, so I bought some 1x4s. So the plywood's going to come up from the bottom of the bunkhouse section all the way to whatever, I think it's 3.5, 1x4, and that'll be 3 feet. It's just pure structural wall. Why am I not going to go the whole full length? Shall we say we? Because if I go further out, then the joints are lined up down here. And you never want to line your joints up, whether it's a car, a house, building a bridge, an airplane. You always want overlap joints. So the stresses are more evenly spread throughout the entire structure rather than this bullshit. Can we say that? Well, we'll have to beep it out. We just beeped it out. Cover your ears. So, yeah, right now, we're back to our friend Mr. Come Along. Hello, Mr. Come Along, or Mrs. Come Along, or other than, or whatever it wants to be called. Wood has a mind of its own, like I've already articulated, and even though this is perfectly good, brand new wood, it changes its dimensions slightly with moisture and heat. So you kind of have to make accommodations for it, shall we say. And we've got it tied to the other wall. You can see that. If you haven't noticed, I've been going crazy on carriage bolts, although, as usual, we're running low. So I'm going to have to be frugal with the latest set. Or, yeah, I can include you. We are going to have to be frugal with the latest set of carriage bolts. I'm not thinking this birch is going to do us what we need as far as structurally. It doesn't seem to be that strong and likes to peel. But for now, we're going to construct the port side sidewall and the bunkhouse with this remaining. And we'll put some cross ties or brace the new lumber that's going to go in our wall right here. So when we replace this with just traditional half-inch plywood, it won't compromise its structure in any sense. We won't have to worry about replacing this with some actual plywood. This is half-inch birch, and I don't think the birch is intended exterior and structurally interior. I think it was more intentional for furniture and cabinet work. So maybe that can be repurposed for up there. Yeah, so we'll think about that. We're going to try to save the fiberglass. It's not very thick, but it seems to be in good condition after 50 years plus of Yogi Bear service. So, yeah, we did have to remove the window because we're doing a window delete, but also when we made that, here, let me see if I can climb up there, give us a better shot. But to make that corner piece and all, it was difficult with the window in place and the siding still in place. And since we're doing a window delete, I'm just going to use the scrap siding we have to fill in this and add a new structure. But to continue on, rebuilding that corner will be much easier with the siding off. So it won't take that long. This is still going to be a pain in the butt, but we'll manage with our jigsaw and our circular saw. We only have to go about what? Let me get the tape measure. Let's see. Set the phone down or pause for a station identification. Okay, we're going to stick the tape measure over here. And let's count 3 feet. Hey, you're supposed to be stopping. It doesn't want to stop. Well, we'll do an approximate. It's at 34. So you can see where the tape measure ends. Add 2 inches. And that curved piece will come over to where the tape measure is on the top, if that makes any sense. Because the fewer pieces of wood you have a stronger structure. If you hadn't noticed, newer cars, they've been copying Honda. Yes, Honda, the leader in this and that for many decades. Hondas basically have been exterior single wall stamping. The reason for that, well, we can't say this about American cars because American car companies don't care about things looking nice and things looking uniform and exact. But if you ever look at a Honda sedan, coupe, wagon, minivan, the entire sidewall exterior, what you look at when you're looking at a car on the outside, is pressed from a single sheet of sheet metal. And the reason the reason for that is you actually have a stronger structure exterior wise with less metal, because on older cars they have overlapping joints where this would be an overlap joint to connect the 2 pieces. And with the fewer pieces, you have a stronger structure, and it's easier if you keep to your dimensions to get the intended results. Not only what you're looking for dimensionally, but aesthetically, your labor will look better. So that's the reason for making the replacement curb section a little bit longer, rather than sticking some 2x4s in there and having blank spaces. The window opening, like I mentioned, we're going to just leave it blocked off with a new exterior plywood. Let's take a step outside, shall we? Try not to turn off the camera. If you're getting a weird screen or something like that, we're doing the best we can right now as far as getting a real-time report. You see that? That's a door. We didn't have a door before. You see all those little kickers? And they're doing as intended as far as little nooks to put stuff. And it's going to be nice to be able to come out here and just know where everything is. It's not going to move, which is going to be nice. We are reusing the original kitchenette because it has cubby holes and stuff, and we can repurpose the door exterior surface heads to fit in here, and we'll have to probably modify the boxes to work with our new dimensions. But we've already got a little storage here as far as a thermos full of stuff. So yeah, things are actually happening as far as things are happening. Yeah, let's take a look. I'm going to go down here on the floor. And that is there for a reason, because when I go to the home improvement center, I can stick 10-foot long sections into the French whore. There you have it. That is our pickup camper to shed conversions residential door. It was cut down for the specific reason of not to infringe on the structure up here. The more structure we have up here when this box, through time and being moved, and this is not the permanent place where this shed's going to be. It'll maintain its structure. We've got some little more rivets going on here. It's got the nautical, aeronautical, industrial look. I wasn't sure about it, and I'm still not sure about it. Leaving it just like this and not repurposing the siding that came off. But some of my pals and neighbors are suggesting that we stain this or put a water repellent, resistant, whatever you want to call it, and then paint it brown or just put a stain on it. We have to decide on this. You can see these holes right here. I had to rob from Peter to pay Paul as far as doing other stuff. I do have the ample amount of bolts to put these back in, but that's what we had to do. But most people are liking this aeronautical maritime look with the carriage bolts. I kind of like it. I do agree that it turned out better than I thought it would. Aesthetically, it was done for structure originally. But yeah, and now we can take a look at the exterior. And if you're new to the channel and you're going, what the hell have you done? Well, get a break. We've kept this as a box so it can still have utility purposes while it's being reconfigured. It could have been a complete teardown or just saved anything that was valuable and hauled the rest of the stuff off to the junkyard as far as recyclable and then burn the wood. But no, sometimes challenges are better. But yeah, let's see if we can look in there. We're going to try to save all this fiberglass like I mentioned before, the insulation. Give you a view of the exterior. There is the actual new sidewall 3/4 piece right there. We're going to cut the transition right there, 3 feet over, and whatever the height is from the top of the roof, whatever you call them, top plate sills down to here. So yeah. Now here's a nightmare from the outside. You can see all this rot, but you see the rot on the plywood. It's not the greatest in the world, but you're not going to be putting like a 500-pound storage item right on this point. So if we cut an inch and then fill this in with some scrap. Let's see if we have any scrap around here. That's scrap. Oh, there's a piece of scrap. I don't know if you can see it. It's supporting the jack. That's 3/4 scrap, which the building industry calls 1 inch. But yeah, we'll stick a section in there to make up for the loss. It'll be fine. And you can see the rudimentary support. See, a little bit, but we're square right there. Our 2x6, like I said, now that we've got the siding off, loosened up.